Israel is, by many measures, the country relative to its population that's done the most to contribute to the technology revolution.
Now, when you look at the NASDAQ, companies are listed from around the world. There's one country, though, that truly stands out, and that is Israel.
If you go to the Middle East looking for oil, you don't need to stop in Israel. But if you go looking for brains, for energy, for integrity, it's the only stop you need to make in the Middle East.
The foundation of Israel itself could be seen as an entrepreneurial project. The pioneers who came to build Israel from scratch, they are real entrepreneurs. They took a huge risk. They came to a place that doesn't have much natural resources, that there are a lot of threats from the outside, but they still had a great vision in building a successful country, which means that from the foundation of this country, people were already experienced in risk-taking.
Israel has often been called the startup nation. Flip-top cell phones, keyboards for smartphones, Intel Pentium chips, the flash drive, the chip in the iPad, the OS that runs the Amazon Kindle, the chip that controls the Sony PlayStation, and the 3D sensor in the Xbox Kinect. Every year, American companies are shelling out more and more shekels to buy small Israeli startups. The latest example is Waze, an Israeli smartphone app that gives live traffic reports based on your location. Google bought the program for just under $1 billion.
But Israel isn't just innovating for its own ends.
A lot of the innovation that comes out from Israel changes the lives of people all over the world. Whether it's in irrigation and saving water, smart use of energy, space investigation, nanotechnology, green technology.
The world has a lot to learn from Israel, especially at a time when there is so much yearning for an innovation-based economic strategy.
In 2011, Israel's first commercial solar field was completed in the southern Arava Valley. The company's founders are now building solar fields in several third world countries, like Haiti, Ecuador, and Rwanda.
In this country, we don't have much water, except somehow, by the end of this decade, Israel is going to become a net water exporter. Just on today's news, there was an item about how Israel is stepping up the export of water to Jordan in order to supply water for all the Syrian refugees who are fleeing into Jordan.
Through a process called seawater reverse osmosis, water can go from the ocean to the faucet in less than 90 minutes. The Israeli technology is now used in more than 40 countries around the world.
Today, Israel recycles 80% of its wastewater. The closest competitor is Spain with 10%. So we recycle more than 8 times more water than any other country on the planet.
Israelis developed a way to purify wastewater using ultraviolet light. This treated water is then used to irrigate crops.
In South Africa, Israel's revolutionary drip irrigation technology is maximizing crop yields in a move to launch intensive biofuel production from sugarcane.
Drip irrigation saves a lot of water, producing more, getting more, yet not harming the environment.
Grow more with less, not just in Israel, but in 110 countries around the world.
It's part of the Zionism dream to create a green land. Israel is amongst the fewest countries in the world that at the end of the 20th century, there are much more trees than were at the beginning of this century.
Studies show that planting similar forest on just 12% of the world's arid land would reduce carbon in the atmosphere by a gigaton a year. That's equal to the carbon output of 1,000 coal plants. Today, scientists from around the world come to Israel to study the Yatir forest.
We like to serve. We are proud to serve all our achievements to other countries. And of course, we want to share our knowledge and study from other countries' experience.
Yoav Dagan is one of a growing number of Israelis who have left the ocean to go fishing in the desert. They build fish farms using the warm, salty water from underground. Israel has taken this idea to other countries struggling with water and food shortages.
We're taking African villages, teaching them how to essentially build fish farms.
Every day, millions of Americans use some kind of medical treatment that came from Israel. There's a wireless laser that will someday replace the dentist drill, and the pill cam, a tiny camera in a capsule. It takes pictures from inside your colon, eliminating the need for a colonoscopy. Hossam Haik developed an early warning system for cancer. The nano-artificial nose can detect tumors before they're even visible on X-rays, just by analyzing a patient's breath. And it's also being customized to sniff out other diseases as well, like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and multiple sclerosis.
Our ultimate vision is to bring this device in an inexpensive and very portable way to everybody, whether these people live in the Western countries or they live in the third world.
One doctor is even developing a vaccine for cancer. The Immusin vaccine trains the body's immune cells to attack a specific molecule found only in cancer. And since only the cancer cells are targeted, the vaccine has no side effects like chemo and radiation.
For me, Zionism is not only about the prosperity of Jewish people in Israel, but also Jewish people bringing more prosperity to the world.
One of the Jewish commandments is tikkun olam, which means, translation to English, is to repair the world under God, to make the world a better place.
Israel itself, it's a beautiful country, but we don't have the traditional gold mines and massive oil and diamonds. We basically have a country of human resources rather than natural resources. So we very much value what little we have.
We're a light unto the nations. We're supposed to be anyways. If we want to really save the environment, if we really want to help the world, then we can't keep these things to ourselves. We have to share these things. We have to share this knowledge. And I think by helping others, we're helping ourselves as well.